To all who come to this ragged place, welcome. And since you're here, why don't we start the show? Today we've got Season 2, Episode 1 of the Ragged World podcast, back again with some new guests and some old friends. Speaking of which, today we've got the very first guest we ever had on this podcast, finally returning. I have wanted this guest to come back forever and ever and ever, and this guest's name is Vicky Clerici, aka Makeup Billy, the horror movie mask maker, the health connoisseur, the diet connoisseur, the social media phenom. She's got some new stuff all across the board. It's really why I wanted her back now. It's Halloween. She makes spooky, scary masks. She also does some kind of sexy, spooky photography. I suggest you check it out. It is very, very cool. Makeup Billy across the board on all things. Just follow. She's on Twitch. She does a Family Feud. She's on YouTube. She does Movie Mondays, talking about horror movies. She's watched every single horror movie in the entire world. Not just American horror movies, not just French horror movies, German horror movies, Swedish horror movies from Mars. Every horror movie in the world. So check out Movie Monday. And again, if you want an awesome Halloween mask, this Halloween, next Halloween, you want to wear one at Christmas, talk to Makeup. Go to makeupbilly.com. Check out her mask. She is awesome. Now, we did something a little different. Like I said, we have some tricks. We have some treats. It's the holiday season. So with Vicky, about halfway into the episode, we played a game of Would You Rather. So you can find out whether or not myself or Vicky would rather marry ourselves or marry our sibling, or that kind of thing. Would we want our friends to live or would we want ourselves to live? You know, we find out what Vicky's all about. We find out a little bit of what I'm all about. You know, sneak peek, spoiler alert. I'm not the best person. So yeah, we found that out pretty quick that I would probably do the wrong thing most of the time. So look, I'm rambling and I digress. This is the Ragged World though. And it's an adult conversation, baby, so your virgin ears may hear something you did not expect, and don't let that throw you. I believe that's everything you need to know. It's probably way more than you need to know to get into this episode. So without further ado, Vicky Clerici, Makeup Billy, Ragged World, let's go. Believe it or not, it was just like, I heard you're dealing with a cold, not the glue, because we actually covered some of that in previous podcasts, but not the glue, but you're dealing with a cold right now. Do you have tricks? Do you have tips? Is there something you do to get over it faster, better, stronger, quick?
I think I really think sleep is so important, obviously. But I'm a big natural weirdo, so like give me all your lemon, water, ginger kind of stuff and just drink so many liquids.
Okay.
And like I keep active, like I'm still going on walks, you know what I mean? I'm still working out. I feel like sweating it out is a thing, even though you're like dying inside, like it's impossible. But you push. Yeah.
I feel like you have that's like some of your mindset is that to like just continue regardless. That's the other thing too.
True.
I feel like I've told you this on Instagram, and I'm impressed because I feel like you've had a lot going on. Some things positive, some things not so positive. Is a way to put it, I guess. There's been some wild stuff happening, but yet your posts are like, I feel like there's more. You're ramping up the mask. And in case people don't know, they're looking behind you. Maybe it's the first time you've been watching us here on this podcast. Makeup Billy is a special effects makeup genius, let's say. And she creates these horror movie masks that are awesome. And you created a business around that. It's one of the reasons why I was like, I got to talk to you the first time. And, welcome back to the Ragged World. I'm sorry I didn't welcome you. I said, to all who come to this ragged place, you are welcome. And thank you for coming again. This is actually episode 1 of season 2. As I have mentioned, I'm so excited. You were episode 1 of season 1, and you will now be episode 1 of season 2. And you're kind of locked into it now, as much as you might hate it. Probably. This has become like a purgatory of sorts.
Yeah,
Um,
no, you know what? I love it though. It's one of those things too. Like the last time we spoke, it was so early in the game, and now it's fun. It's fun.
yeah, a lot of stuff has changed. A lot of stuff has changed. We've been through a lot, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. How do you keep ramping up? I see the output of the masks has become more than it was. I saw you went to a convention recently. I think you have some more lined up, possibly. Tell me everything. How do you manage, like, particularly mentally, through a lot of these things? How do you keep it going? What are some of your tricks? Some of your efforts?
We talked about this last time. I'm a really big lister, right? And like
So,
when you got a goal, especially a clear goal, like a convention, there's a date. You got to be ready for that date. You have to have all your stuff ready to go. On top of like for me, it's also orders from the online, right? So I've just been like those last couple, I'd say like 2 months of summer. It was so beautiful out. It was like 40 degrees. Whenever it was hot, I was pouring as many as I could to try and get ahead and have a bit of a surplus so I can, not just be constantly like, oh my God, can I catch up?
hmm.
And you got to have fun with it, honestly. Like it is, at this point, it is my work. It's kind of crazy. It's still slapping me in the face. Like, this is my job now. And I feel it like right now. Because right now I'm under the weather, but if I
Yeah.
don't produce, I don't get paid. I don't pay my mortgage. You know what I mean? So there's that like, whoo, it's more of like a torch under your butthole, rather than just like a fire under your
Yeah, it's
butt.
harsh. It's harsh. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's the thing is, how do you? I find that with freelancers, I've noticed this for myself. Like, I'm calling it freelancer or entrepreneur,
Yeah.
anyone who's doing their own thing.
Hmm.
There is a level of two things. One is, how do you find stability in your life with the kind of the wildness of the way entrepreneurship and freelancing is, where it sort of just seems like a chaotic thing. Like, are there some things you do to stabilize yourself? I know you do workouts. I was going to ask you, what are some of your new workouts? But other ways, like maybe on the mental side, physical side, what do you do to feel like you have some stability in
To
your
have that like escape from it. Because technically, when you're working from home and this is your job and this is also your hobby, passion, whatever, you have to have a moment to disconnect. So mine is still, my walks outside with the dog. I love just kind of recently I've been playing the Get Lost game. So
Hmm.
we you just get lost. You just go down things and hope to flip that you find your way back. Because we have
Not
like a
found
lot
by a
of brush.
jogger.
Yeah, no joggers down here.
Okay.
Psychopaths like me wearing masks in the woods taking pictures.
Which have been amazing,
Yeah.
by the way. The bunny man, that was
Oh,
so
right?
good. You did such a
Right.
good job. Everybody, check out
Oh.
your Instagram, which you can see right up here. Makeup Billy, check it out because oh
Yeah.
man, it's getting good. So continue. I'm
See,
sorry.
and that's one of the toughest things, right? As being the creative, you also have to run your website. You also have to do your marketing. You also have to do your social media. But when it comes to photography, like I'm still learning. And a lot of the times, guys, it's me going, okay, 3 second timer, 10 second timer, like running like, ah, and then you come back, like, it's good. Yeah,
Spooky,
exactly.
spooky face,
Yeah,
panic face, spooky face.
yeah. You get lots of blurs, weird gestures. But I was lucky enough, like I'm trying to collab with a couple people. So I got to collab with this girl, Stephanie Moran. She's amazing. It's actually my sister. She's
Oh,
stupid talented. And like those moments when you're like, hey, I got a really good camera. I want to putz around. May I? And I'm like, oh girl, let's do it.
let's do. Okay,
And it's
nice.
finally like that moment when you get to see your character that you've created that's just ahead in, character.
In its character, in its
Literally.
element, personified.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get you. I get that for sure. It means a lot to me
Yeah.
whenever I create something, especially since it's a lot of times writing, which is
Yeah.
so like thankless. You never get to see it. I do like it when it becomes a comic, like you have somebody illustrate it, or it becomes a film or something like that. So I think it's probably similar.
Yeah. It's like seeing it all kind of, whoa, it comes together. It's like a full circle moment when things start happening like that, right?
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
so it's like go for walks, find your happy place essentially, and find the time
Yeah.
for that.
and like step out, right? Like it's one thing to go and have like a smoke break or go and have some snacks in your kitchen, but it's another thing to literally like, okay, I'm going in my little workout room, I'm closing the door, I'm not looking at my mask, I'm focused in here. Maybe I'm watching a horror movie at the same time. Like
Mm.
try and pull away. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm constantly working on the same stuff over and over again, I see it in an estranged light. Whereas where you actually step back and then come back to it, you can like judge it more, critique, like you could critique it better, I guess you'd say. In a sense.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah, I think any kind of work benefits from that, doesn't it? Like just being able to, even if it's a short break, you take a small break and you're now outside of this thing, and you stop thinking about it just long enough that like your subconscious can mull around what's been
Mm-hmm.
happening, what the next move is going to be. A lot of times if I'm writing, I think about stuff or any idea I'm going to have. I'm like, just before I'm about to fall asleep, the idea hits and I have to like write it down or
Uh,
something. Right. So you're not
yeah,
thinking about it anymore. So I think maybe that's similar in that regard. Do you feel like it's like that?
absolutely. Yeah, you need to like just like let your muscle, like your brain muscle just chill. And then
Hmm.
I find it just tends to come to you after. You're going at it with a different light, right? That's what it's all about. But man, like it's what drives you, especially for me this time of year, is Halloween. Again, goals, dates. Like I know I have a show coming up end of October this time, and it's
Nice.
just basically like, all right, Vicky, you're not going to sleep this month. Like this is my mental thing clicking in. November, no problem, all asleep. December, all asleep. But right now, you got a show coming up. Go overtime. Do as much as you can. Push. That's always
Nice.
how I've been. Maybe it's the procrastinator too in me to some extent.
Would you, this is something I've been looking into recently, is that
Yeah.
would you consider yourself somebody who is perfectionist, or yeah, because that can cause procrastination, believe it or not. There's a thing called maladaptive perfectionism, which are the
Ooh.
the negative formats of perfectionism, or like the negative things. Like if you have adaptive perfectionism, it means like, okay, I always try my best under the circumstances, as opposed to things have to be perfect or else. You know what I mean? So like that's sort of the
Yeah.
thing. And if it has to be perfect or else nothing, then you procrastinate. So I think that's probably what you see with me too. I'm like,
Yeah.
so do you have some
Yeah.
of that?
Well,
Do you
your
feel like it is?
stream and everything is perfect, right? Like you went in, I'm gonna do something, and you go overkill in a beautiful way. But
I I
I
thought it
think
was the
I think
minimum.
stop it.
No, seriously, I was like, oh, you
You're
gotta have
crazy.
you gotta have the best possible everything at least. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of crappy, but I'll do my best with it. And then when
No,
I
you
looked at
totally.
other streams, other podcasts and stuff, I was like, oh, people just started with like their phone or whatever. So no, do you feel like that?
Absolutely.
Your
Yeah,
procrastination comes from that?
honestly, I am absolutely one of those people. Like right now, I have both of my Goosebumps masks that are basically done right now, except I have one where I already did the shadowing. The teeth are basically there. I just want to re-go over the gums and then epoxy. And then the other one, I haven't done the shadowing yet, too. So my brain, because I haven't decided my full color palette yet, like I'm kind of just going with the flow. I have this one that's shadowed and this one that's not. And I'm always like, should I do this one a bit different? Just cause? Just so oh no, maybe I should make it perfectly the same. And like your brain's just like, no, don't finish it until you're ready mentally to do it. Like I'm absolutely like that.
That
Always.
makes sense. Speaking of
Yeah.
the like, you've had a few newer masks or new experiments recently. Like, what's one of the ones you're most proud of right now? Because I can tell you, whenever I see those smoothie type face masks, I freak out. I don't know why. I find them super
Mm,
cool, but that's me. That's me. What's going on with you? What one are you proud of? I see there's like an it mask behind you right now.
totally. So I'm really stoked that I pulled that one back out because I had made that over 7 years ago, I think.
What made you
Five
pull
years
it out?
ago. So, well, it was back then. I had made it. I was super happy with the sculpture. It looks fantastic, but I wasn't able to understand where to find like the hair that I need to lay. I have a whole bag of hair, but it's browns, it's blondes, it's grays, like for makeup effects. And
Of course,
finally with the internet
not
and like
just for your own
amazing people.
personal use, I guess, right?
Right?
Like,
I mean, it's
imagine.
fun being bearded for a week.
I have a bag of hair, multiple bags of hair, and then period. That's just it. They're like, is it for the masks? No, 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 no. Anyway, so yeah, I have a cold. What? Vicky, where'd the hair? Whose hair?
Quack, quack.
Human hair? Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I actually have human hair too down here.
Nice.
Yeah, because it curls and stuff. You can style it different.
Makes sense.
But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
so I
Oh, sorry.
finally found. No, it's okay. It was something amazing. Thank God for the internet and cool people. I had posted on there's a page on Facebook called Latex Mask Central. And I'd posted like, where the hell do you guys find your goddamn hair? Rather than just like cutting up like a clown wig, where do you find it? And some dude started DMing me. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, dude. But thank you so much. This guy messaged and he was like, here's a video of how I do it. You could just get it on Amazon. They're hair extensions.
Oh, there you go.
Right? I would have never thought, but like, duh.
Makes sense.
Right?
Wow.
Anyway, so I'm stoked. That's going to be my next fun. I'm going to be hairing up tons of weird shit.
It's a
And
really
that
good one.
Oh,
Strong. Like
the
the face is strong. Like it's so really nice. Okay, so it
Tim
was just a
Curry,
hair
right?
problem. This was just a hair issue. This is just a hair issue. Don't worry
hair
about
situation.
it. Hey yo. No. That's awesome.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I realized I was going to ask you about something that doesn't translate from this to that. But first of all, you're going. We talked about Halloween. We talked about a convention. What convention are you going to? And when is it?
Frightmare in the Falls.
Nice.
And I want to say it's the 27th, 28th of
Okay.
October. Yeah, it's right at the end of October, right before Halloween, or maybe 28th, 29th. So Niagara Falls, Ontario, guys. If y'all are
Niagara
bored, come
Falls.
swing by.
Frightmare in
like-
the Falls.
Yeah, they got actors coming, like, to do signings. And I've always found really wicked merch. Like, I usually come back and I'm like, oh, Victoria, what did you do? And I have so many more t-shirts and just like,
I noticed you're
trinkets.
wearing. Oh, is it say Run NDG?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, it's a Run DMC show. Oh, it's not. It's Run NDG, Notre Dame de
For
Grace,
my own
right?
hood, bro.
So this is the
So
kind of
sexy.
thing you're coming home with. I'm thinking. Is this what it is?
Basically.
All right.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
Awesome.
But yeah, last year I missed it, but Weekend at Bernie's, the actor was there.
Bernie himself? Or
Bernie
the guys who
himself
carry him
was
around?
No, that would have been good too. No, it was Bernie himself. I was like,
Imagine-
and I just wanted
Like,
to see him.
so we carried him around for the whole shoot. You know?
He plays it till he dies.
Take a picture. Man, no, but what did he have to say? Bernie, like I mean,
didn't get
seriously,
to see him. It's
Oh.
he was also that was so sad. He was there all weekend, and like that last day, I finally like got the courage, and I'm like, I got time, like quiet, let's go see him, and he had already packed up.
he
Yeah.
was like, I'm out. He had other things to do.
He
Back
had
to
a
the beach,
vacation
you
or
know?
something.
Yeah. Water skiing, parasailing. He has lots of stuff to do. Bernie teaches like a dead body mime class. He's like, so the point of it is, he's like, okay, students, you have to focus. You have to embody the body. And they're like, no, I think it's like a bunch of people on the floor. I envision like a bunch of actors like laying on the ground, and
Plays
like,
the music, they all start doing it. Dun, dun, dun,
like
dun.
they're like your eyelids are fluttering. They're like, oh, he's a
Stop
genius.
breathing.
Bernie's a genius. No one's ever done it. No one has ever done it though. You know, no one has ever done it. That's a classic.
Oh, such a great film.
And there was a 2. That's the thing that's even better. If you want to make
The
a
second one
joke,
was great. Yeah.
If you want to make a joke, you just say Weekend at Bernie's 2. And then it's it's funny. If you
I
say
guess I'm
Weekend at
making that
Bernie's,
as a T-shirt. I'm gonna prove to you that people love it.
people do love it. But I'm just saying, like, it sounds hilarious because, like, okay, the guy was dead and he's a corpse, and they carried him around for the weekend to try to not get caught, because they were getting set up for his murder. Something to that effect. That's the premise of the story. So number 2 is what? They dig him up? Like,
They end up on vacation.
no. Bernie's big vacation or something, right?
Yeah.
And like he's like having sex in the hot tub and stuff.
He's walking into the ocean with his headphones on.
That movement that like somehow makes you believe this guy walking around is dead.
Yeah.
I don't believe it, but you do believe it, kind of. I'm screaming at you. I'm sorry, but I'm excited about Bernie
it's okay.
now.
Me too. My cheeks are hurting. That's how happy I am right now.
I'm glad. Like, that's the point, right? We talked. I've asked you the questions. I try to ask you serious questions, but at the same time, it has to devolve into chaos because otherwise it wouldn't be a fun Ragged World podcast. And I'm thinking about this. So that was an 80s movie, right? Did it come out in the early 90s? Or was it 80s, right?
Maybe.
Late
80s?
Yeah, maybe late 80s. It was close to the 90s. We were in the...
Lots of tracksuits,
Tracksuits, the Hawaiian shirts were happening. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. That makes me think of something I noticed recently, too. The 90s. Now, I know you're a big fan of the 80s. I know you're a big 80s fan. However, I feel like recently, the 90s are coming back. I'm seeing kids, like I saw like my niece and she was wearing like a choker and she looked like Blossom from the show Blossom. And I was like, what's going on? And I'm seeing all the 90s stuff starting to sort of come back, the flannel shirts and stuff. First of all, do you remember anything from the 90s? Second of all, what are some of your favorite things? How do you feel about stuff coming back from the 90s? And if you like it, what's some of your favorite stuff? If not, why not?
Okay, the 90s.
The 90s. What do you think of?
I love 90s dance music. It's that moment when you're like, I'm so hardcore. I love heavy metal and hair metal. And then I'm like, man, I downloaded a 90s dance mix the other day on Spotify. So, because we live in the middle of nowhere, you don't get signal for like at least 30 minutes of your drive. So I'm like, all right, I want this offline play. I swear to you, I knew all the words to like The Real McCoy, like freaking like Wigfield, like all these different guys. And I was like, I really was into this growing up, wasn't I?
I guess so.
Like, I love that scene. Like the whole techno scene. I think it was super fun.
It was big in the 90s.
Right? But I was too busy being a tomboy. Like those Jenkos, like the ones... Right?
I
Those
know.
are back.
They were huge. That's no way that's coming back. Are you serious right now?
They're back.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Big wide bottom. I thought that was like kind of a weird, like, I'm going to say raver take on the bell bottoms in a way, like from the 60s. And then, so it's like it's on its way into being now?
It's back, man.
And also, sorry you're sick.
Pardon me. I'm dying over here, but
you don't have to worry about it. Like if you have to blow your nose or cough or whatever or vomit someplace, do what you have to do.
This is a no judgment zone.
This is a no judgment zone. We're not doing that here. We're not judging Vicky's sickness. She's alone with her masks. So
it's so cold down here.
I'm so glad we're torturing you today with this. I'm so glad. And yeah, speaking of that, you went to a huge EDM fest recently, right?
Oh, it was so fun. Yeah, we did Il Sonic there, the 3-day event.
3 days, and you were dancing that whole time, I'm to understand.
You have no idea. It's so much dancing. And like we would get there, I think the doors open about 2 p.m. But we're like, listen, we're adults. We're going to get there around like 4 and try to like 3 or 4 p.m. until I think it closed at 11. But, the 3 of us girls, we're all like, from 30s to like 40s.
Whoa.
Like the 3 of us. So we're all like, guys, we could do this. Like, we have it in us. And we just have like our little like stepwatches, and we're like, all right, keep watching your heartbeat. If anyone goes too high, like we're gonna calm you down.
Avoiding aneurysms.
Yeah. Full adult partying 101 with us. It was so funny.
What a
And
blend.
it was like 40 degrees. Like it was insane.
Oh, it's a hot day. It's mid-July or something, right? Or maybe
Yeah,
August.
yeah. Beginning of August, maybe.
I guess it doesn't matter. That's like old man talk right there. Like, what exact date was it? Like, who cares? Nobody cares. Listening to this,
I conquered it.
they were like, they went to Il Sonic, but what day specifically? Who cares?
Oh,
she was there in the summer. It was
you know
hot.
What, though?
Yeah.
It was so funny. Like talking about 90s is these shows, especially with EDM music, there's always a song that comes back, right?
Okay.
That they keep replaying. This year, it was Bob Sinclair's World Hold On. If you know that.
World Hold On. Yeah.
So oh my God, like 17 times at least.
World Hold On. Yeah. Holy crap.
It's
I don't
back.
know. Back in full effect. What? And you said like every DJ played it?
Yeah, like a lot of them. Like a lot. Like there was so many events going on. So we heard that the most. And then it was freaking Sweet Dreams by you, the Eurythmics.
Eurythmics for sure.
And I can't help myself, right? So I just kind of like get up and I start taking up all the room and like doing like this bad 80s dance moves. Like people are just trying to like get all sexy 80s? And I'm like, give me space.
That sort of was like octopus-ish dancing.
I mean, leave me alone.
I don't know. 80s, I guess, is the same. Like, you were doing this. Side, okay? You were doing this. I don't think that's 80s. That's just waving your arms.
I wasn't born a dancer.
You're good. No, I think like you definitely keep yourself in like music's a big deal for you. I'm getting that impression. Like when you're working, you've got your earphones in. I see you dancing, spraying masks down, and so like that's a thing. When you're chilling out, you're oftentimes practicing guitar, like just trying to learn songs by ear and stuff like that. So I get it. Like it must be big. Like how, I'm not going to say how come it's that way. I think a lot of people use music for that stuff, but like, how does it fit into your life in terms of like, why do you think it's, or maybe I'll ask you this. Why do you think it's so ubiquitous across not just relaxing, but also working and probably other activities too, driving, everything else, and fun?
I don't know what ubiquitous means, but I'm going to assume.
It means it's all over. It's all over the place.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, yeah.
Everywhere.
That's it.
I'm always burning with you.
I'm sorry. Jeez.
I'm going to just, like, in general, like, music has always been my release. Like, kind of like we were talking about earlier, you know, like what keeps you sane during all this crazy stuff, even though 3 days of dancing nonstop is insanity for your body, that's a release for me. You know, and like when it comes to, it helps me focus. I think that's a big part of it.
It helps you just like zone in.
Just zone in, yeah. Like I love it when I'm cooking, cleaning, you know, like it's just something that kind of, driving too, like I probably drive with it way too loud. It's embarrassing, but
nice.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, I mean, like before this, I played something in my ears, you know, to get me on the thing. No, you got to be sick. You're gonna be sick. It is what it is. You know?
Did pump up jams? Was it jock jams?
No. Y'all ready for this? What was that? How did they get that sound? Yeah. Her. It was like one of those, do you remember those like 80s keychains that was like would swear at you and to say different swears? Yeah. It sort of sounded like that a bit. That was maybe.
It's true.
So yeah, I think, I don't know, it wasn't that. I listened to two songs actually. I listened to Fatty Boom Boom from D'Antwoord. And
so good.
Yeah. It's got a real beat. When I'm on a mic, it's like, you know, so I had that. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And a song called Hands in the Air by 8 Ball. Not a lot of people tend to know it, but it's pretty dope. It's a hip hop song, and it slaps pretty hard. So if
I
you're
might have to listen to that at some point.
8-ball like cocaine or like billiards, and hands in the air like putting your hands up. So
Like you just don't care.
indeed.
Doesn't matter.
I wonder how long that lasted. Throw your hands in the air, wave them around like you don't care. That went from probably the late 70s all the way to what, 2000 and something, I think.
Oh, it kept going, yo. S Club even made people do it. Like that was a thing.
It still happened. I felt like it could. I always think everything gets old way before it actually gets old. Just to be honest.
Oh.
Like 10 years ago, I was like, oh, everybody's doing YouTube. That's garbage now, obviously. Like if one person does it already, I think it's over. Like you can't do it again.
Oh my God. That's stocks, okay? I think you're mixing up your stuff. Like as soon as you start hearing about stocks, don't do it.
It's over. This is the hot stock. Run NDG.
Yeah.
I'm reading it so many times. I keep reading it. I'm like, run NDG, run NDG, run NDG.
I'm like, I don't even know what I got under here. Oh, I have The Shining.
Oh, nice.
So I was semi ready for you guys, but
you were semi. No, you got to stay warm. You got to stay warm. That's why you got the toque. You're sick. You got a cold. We can't. We shouldn't even be doing this. You have a dope microphone coming in a few days, and I'm like, fuck that. Let's do it now. But hey, look.
I'm such a product of like marketing too. I'm reading up so much, and I heard get the Blue Yeti. It's a fantastic mic, and I'm like, look, I'm not doing this often enough to get something that's like only for talking. So I'm like, let me get the one that has this little dumb looking smiley face on it because I think that's gonna be great.
Okay. So you and I do things in a different way. I find. I do things in a different way. I literally like went and rented a bunch of different microphones, saw how they sounded in the space because it's like it's a room, it's not necessarily a studio space, you know? Yeah. So I wanted to hear what like it's not perfect, but it cuts down a lot of the sound, and I chose that one. This is actually you'd usually use this microphone. I have it here. Well, I don't want to knock everything over, but usually you would use this microphone for like instruments and stuff, or you would point it at the amp or something when you're in a studio. But since it is very, very directional, it cuts out a lot of the ambient noise. But yet it's a high quality like studio thing. So that's what I did there. And now I'm thinking about like I see everybody's got the Shure SM7B or something, and so I'm like and that's what Michael Jackson did Thriller on, you know, kind of thing. And
stop it.
Yeah, every podcast has it, and if not, it's like what is it, the Audio Vox or something like that is the other one they use on the radio for the last 30 straight years. So that's what I do. But I see that your method is somewhat more not laissez-faire, I'm gonna say, but more based in marketing.
But it depends on what it is, right? Like I have my top of the line airbrush.
Of course, you're not doing this.
I know. No, but that's it. I was like, look, I'm gonna just do this for now. I will see.
It's a smart
camera wise too, right? Like we were talking about cameras recently. I think it's so important to have a good camera too.
Yeah.
You know.
It is clean. Yeah. Your camera looks a lot cleaner this time too, and also you're welcome everyone from the podcast who's watching this. If you're not watching this, it's on YouTube, so watch it. I'm learning to shout myself out in the middle of things since Twitch. By the way, if you're not watching this, you can watch it on YouTube, and you can see her camera looks way better because I changed all the settings in this, and I think you might use a bit of a better camera. But yeah, this is actually the cleanest podcast we will have done, video wise. I think like I felt so embarrassed. Even people who had like nice cameras, I think my settings weren't perfect, so it didn't make them look as good. And so I'm sorry everybody who came on. If you want to come on again with a better camera and better settings, please do. They're like, no, go fuck yourself. But no, it's like that. Like seriously, it looks fantastic. I think you're doing very good. But are you thinking about getting a new camera or something?
Eventually. I mean, it's not top of my list. Like, so this is our webcam. This is technically my cam, but we share it, right? This is like our Family Feud cam, and John does a lot of meetings, so I usually let him have it. And that's it. And like when I do YouTube lives or Reddit, I find it so much easier just to whip out my phone. It's that moment of like, if it's easy to do, I'll do it that way. just because, you know, that moment where you have to start thinking about your next step, it stops me from being creative when I could just go, whoop, okay, it's on, let's go.
I'm with you. That is true. I think that's a struggle a lot of people have too. I was even going to ask you
Mhm.
about that too, though, because you crush it. Like I know you do your tonight. Actually, may be a Feuds Day Tuesday night. I don't know. You're busy.
Tonight, we're not going to do it. I mean, both of us
All
are under
right.
the weather. And obviously, I got some monsters to make tonight.
Okay.
I'm
True
like,
enough.
yeah, yeah. But next week, ooh,
Don't worry about it. By the time people see this, I'm sure weeks will have gone by. I'm working on an intro for this season right now. That is new from what the other one is. I did the music. I'm doing all the visuals, so it's taking me a really effing long time, but
hmm
I'm doing it. But so I get it. You know, we don't always have the time for everything, and when you have to struggle, you know, to get something going, it does sort of cramp the creativity a little bit. But even though
oh yeah.
you're not doing that tonight, is the Feuds Day. You've been doing that on Twitch, but also mainly I noticed your biggest audience is Reddit. You know, so
Yeah.
how did you crush Reddit so hard? That's like, I mean, for people out there who maybe forget about Reddit sometimes, you know, I think that happens. Like you're thinking about YouTube, you're thinking about Twitch, you think about Instagram or TikTok. We forget about Reddit, and you definitely crushed it on Reddit and have a big audience. So I'm curious, like, how did that happen?
Reddit, so I was always like a lurker on Reddit. That's what they call folks who just read tons on there. And then I finally did a post years ago about kind of like more my fitness journey, like a before and after photo.
Hmm.
And Reddit, the way you can get yourself to be able to do live, it's called RPAN, doing like live videos on there. You need a certain amount of comment karma. So that one post that I did, I got a lot of comment karma because a lot of people were messaging back. I was responding back. People upvote your responses, et cetera, et cetera. And then I was able to finally start posting. But take this back a notch. Prior to this, John has been on Reddit even longer. So if you go and look way, way, way back, we were going live for my mask making, but on John's account as a way to just get views and like see what's
Ah.
going on. Are people even interested? Like, is this worth me pushing on with? And honestly, Reddit has been so fun. It's a different type of folk who are like, I wasn't planning on watching freaking somebody's skin faces in their basement. I'm gonna stay. Like, you know, like it's like this kind of like fun little, I don't know. I feel like I'm teaching and like, you know, letting people learn a bit more versus like YouTube and Twitch where it's like my folks that know me already and they're like, okay, like, you know, what are you working on? It's more like I'm here to see it develop versus like curious, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But it's worth it. It's a great platform.
That is cool. Well, I was curious because it's one that I jump on it from time to time, but I felt like I never really understood well. And I'm thinking probably some people out there who are creators are doing the same thing. They're not seeing as much value or whatever, or like they get maybe put off by the user interface or something like that. But it's essential, or even the karma stuff can be weird, I guess, at the beginning. But if you
Just
just
to
get
get
in it with
into it.
people, I guess you're good.
Yeah.
And also, it sounds like you slept your way to the top a little bit on that on that one. You're like
Yeah.
John
I
was in
mean,
it and we did it. No, I'm
well,
joking.
no, because his comment karma doesn't switch over, right? So
No. You had to make it
it was
happen.
all about that post. It was all about that one post, which, you know, fitness and people dealing with issues and stuff is always, you know, people are always looking for answers. So I'd
Hmm.
suggest, even if it's not your art, maybe go ahead and post something on something you're interested in or you have a story to tell, you
Oh,
know,
that's good
because
advice.
people, absolutely, man, and it helps. And
Tell your story even with the other things you're doing. That's interesting. I'm like, I think you're helping me. This is now school for me in a sense because yeah, that's not okay. Cool, very cool.
mhm,
Yeah, and congrats on all that too. It's you're the
thank
person I
you.
watch on Reddit, so it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, I love, honestly, I find some wicked DJs on Reddit. You find people just streaming a bit like Twitch. I found people that I now follow on Twitch because they were DJing originally on Reddit.
Hmm.
So it kind of it's like a trickle effect, you know?
I gotcha. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. That is very cool. No, and oh, speaking of workouts, is there
Hmm.
anything new going on with your workouts? Because I do, of course, see this all the time. You have posts. Most of the time, I see a lot of squats, I see a lot of deadlifts, I see a lot of chin ups, you know? So,
Hmm.
how have you been evolving that, or do you kind of just stick with a similar program or something? Like, how's your workout going? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, so I was off for a week. I just did my workout yesterday, which felt really good, even though I'm under the weather. And I'm
Mm.
just like doing like my fourth pull up, and I'm like, I'm so weak. Like
Well,
those
sure, you got to
moments where you're
expect.
like, yeah, like, but at the same time, I've been doing a lot more fasted cardio. So like I'll get up
Mm.
and I'll kind of do like a 20-minute bike ride kind of thing before I do any kind of weights. And I find it, it's helping in a sense. It's helping like just get myself warmed up. Whereas usually I would just go downstairs and literally like just start lifting, or
Oh,
like
it's
go on a walk and then start lifting. Yeah. My
wow.
goal though, I like to get back into yoga because I feel like a meathead. I can't stretch like I used to.
Yeah, that's a whole thing too. That's a whole thing. I started doing this thing called ATG, right? Which
Oh.
was the guy who does knees over toes. I don't know if you've ever seen the knees over toes guy. That was
No,
literally
I'm
his
like,
thing.
where's the
Yeah. So like you know how a lot of times they were telling you like don't your knees shouldn't go over your toes or something like for
yeah,
hyperextending things or something. He's like he healed up his knees and pretty much his whole body became very athletic by doing kind of the opposite of a lot of that stuff or
yeah,
deconstructing injuries. And so ATG is like Athletic Truth Group, which is a bit of a heavy-handed
cool.
thing, but I started doing that because like I do sit in this chair a lot. I'm a writer, you know, and it's a whole thing where your hips get tense. Just you're and like
Yeah,
a lot of times if you have lower back problems or something, if you're getting lower back problems, it's going to be from sitting, and people will
yeah.
tell you like, oh, you should do abs or get your core strong. And it's like actually no, your all your hip flexors and glutes and hamstrings and probably your calves and your ankles are not flexible and not strong probably like they're
Yeah.
getting weak in every direction, your groin as well getting weak, you know, so you got to work all this stuff. And so there's a bunch of exercises in the zero kind of program, and then you can move up to all these different weights and funky exercises. So yeah, started to do that.
I love
I
that.
think it's good.
Yeah. No, and you know what? It's so important to switch it up too. Like I'm always sticking with certain key movements and then I slap in some balance stuff. Like I try, challenging certain things. I'm also somebody who does not follow a plan. I refuse to. I can't.
Mm,
I just like I like
gotcha.
being in the zone and like, ooh, I feel like doing, this many Russian twists today and I'll be like, ah, go, like it
Okay.
really depends.
Now, now, what makes the plan difficult for you to follow? Just to say.
Just I guess being in the mood to do certain things. I don't know if
Hmm.
you've ever done that where you've gone into like your little workout room and you're just like, I really don't feel like lifting that.
Yeah.
And rather than letting that I don't feel like lifting that negativity hit me, I just shift my focus right away and say, okay, I'm gonna do this, maybe instead. Like I don't like as soon as I find you start getting that I don't wanna is when you're not gonna do it.
Ooh, it's like a downward spiral on that. As soon as an idea gets in your head like that, I got you.
Yeah,
That's a very good idea.
yeah,
So, like, instead of you're just sort of avoiding that negative path, I guess, and that's why it's like, okay,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
could see
And
that.
on a
I
day, great. Like maybe you'll have another day where you're ready to do that movement, and you feel stronger, you feel more confident in it or whatever it is.
okay,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Okay, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that with us and with me. I appreciate it. That's like a thing I think I can take and use because I have done that in the past where I'm like, okay, I'm doing boxing today. I don't want to do I don't want to do the deadlifting and stuff today. I just don't feel like that. And I have switched it over almost. Let's just do a really hard boxing workout, but I am trying to be more methodical with this ATG thing. It's like, hey, this is about how long we want you to do it to get the max results and do it in this order. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to wake up. I'm just going to do it the way they told me to do it. But they do have a
Yeah.
coach. They do have a coach to say, like, you can videotape your workouts and videotape your stuff, and they'll be like, oh, you got to
And they
keep
can
your
look
heels
at it.
down. They tell you what to do. Yeah.
That's
like,
really cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just following videos and you don't know if you're necessarily doing it right or wrong, kind of thing. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
And again, like when it comes to more not rehab, but I look at it that way, where you're doing more functional training. It's stuff about movement. It's stuff about everyday things you need, you know? That's always better to almost do with a trainer, because you never know, you know, like movement wise, kind of like you said. Oh man, I still remember to this day, I was in a hot yoga class and I'm lying there, I'm in child's pose, and the girl's like, okay, put your hand under like this, and I'm lying down. The woman comes over to me and she's like, you're pregnant, right? And I was just like, no. Like that moment of like,
oh man,
I'm not, maybe I just move weird. Like, but it's those moments where it's like, maybe your body doesn't move like everyone else. So it's good to have a trainer to put you in the right direction. Or to tell you you're pregnant.
Wait, hold up. Why did she think that? Wait, what were you doing?
Something about, right? It was something about the way I had done the movement.
Just how you move.
Yeah,
okay.
It was just, I don't know. I guess the way I was holding it, and she just saw I was holding it a certain way. I don't know.
She's like, you look like you've been getting it lately. Are you pregnant? What?
I was just like, what did I do?
A lot of raw dog happening in your life? What's going on? No.
Forget that fun beef.
What's happening?
Yeah, those moments.
Some of the moments you say, I don't know that happens normally. Really? No one asked me that, but people are like, "Are you pregnant?" I guess it could happen. Oh man.
You never know.
Okay, so I know you're pretty busy, and I do want to get into a brand new segment that we've never done, but I want to do it just because it's you, and I want to have fun, and we talk about serious stuff all the time. And I think people get the picture of how you work and how you train and how you do music and stuff. And if they don't know, they can even go to the first podcast too, and you're going to hear more about that. But I wanted to do the game of Would You Rather.
Oh boy.
Just to have fun, and that's going to be a separate thing. Like we sort of end the podcast, and like there will be a section you can go and watch it, listen to it, whatever you're going to do. And that's the deal. But we're going to do a Would You Rather. It's a fun game. Sometimes we can learn more about a person from their decisions, because this Would You Rather,
psychological breakdown.
This is a psychological breakdown, and you're sick, so it's a perfect time to hit you with these heavy decisions, and it will tell us what percentage of people decided they wanted to do that choice or this choice, kind of thing. So you're going to find out if you're in the majority or in the minority, which I think could be fun. But but before that, I'm just gonna say, Makeup Billy pretty much everywhere, right? Like I'm gonna have the links, but you can see it up there. But Makeup Billy on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Reddit. Is there anything else that people should follow you?
I think that's all of them. On the Straight Up website, on Instagram, all those things.
That's right. The website. Definitely go pick. You want to pick up some of these masks? Go to the website, right? Like that's a great spot to shop for them. That's where I got mine.
Time, my dudes. Yeah.
We're in crunch time.
Halloween's coming.
Halloween's coming. It's almost there. And like I said, if you're in the Niagara Falls area, you're going to that the convention. The was it Fright Night in the Falls?
Frightmare in the Falls.
Frightmare in the Falls. Sorry, I was thinking Fright Night, like the movie.
Fright
Night in the Falls. No, but Frightmare in the Falls. I feel like now you're getting like I think they wanted FF, right, or something, because now it's like, isn't a nightmare a frightmare? How are we differentiating a frightmare from a nightmare right now?
Is there a difference? Are they the same word?
This is fright, and nightmare is when you have a bad dream, right? Frightmare is it's like a new thing, right? To sound like cool, I guess. It's like the hip kids or whatever. Because you're just saying
frightmare.
You're frightened of female horses at this point, right? Frightmare. So I'm just curious, but hey, to each their own. Frightmare in the Falls probably rolls off the tongue better. Go to that. You're going to see Make-A-Billy, and you're going to be able to buy all of the masks while supplies last, of course. Remember the old commercials like, while supplies last? And that's like, you want to get your like lemon squeezer or something, like this special invention, crappy lemon squeezer thing, or rotisserie chicken.
But they always send
maker.
you like 6, even though it's like while supplies last. It's like quit sending 17 to like Auntie Beth.
Like
it only needs 1.
It costs more to stock them, I think, in the warehouse. Like, get these things out of here. We are losing money hand over fist. They're like, it's a $5 million value for only $10.95. But wait, you'll get the mini lemon squeezer for no additional charge, and the recipe book, and oh, but that's not all. 6 more. Like, have
shipping
them.
and handling costs your house.
Yeah, it's $250 for this piece of plastic. Enjoy.
So bad. I love it.
I love those. But I've been getting into those old things a lot. Like I said on Twitch, we've been reading 50s comics and watching 50s commercials and educational videos. We've been learning all about adolescence recently. There's a series of them. They were Canadian videos, actually. And
oh my God.
They were kind of well made, to be honest. And sometimes you actually learn. Like, you expect, like, the 50s, they don't know anything. And they're like, you should be straightforward when talking to adolescents about this. And don't act shameful and don't judge them. And then they'll feel free to talk to you about it if you don't freak out, you know? And I'm like, well, wait. They didn't know that in the 50s, did they? Like, no, they did. We just didn't ever hear that.
Never applied it.
They're like, this video sucks. Forget that part. What if we just clam up and don't say anything? That would be better. But they even had a section of like kids will learn about sex or something from like randy jokes in movies and magazines if you don't talk to them about it. And they're just gonna all the things they're gonna know are gonna be about like jokes. And one of the kids is like, would it's like, is it true that it's bad to have a baby with your cousin? And they're like, will the baby be deformed? It's like,
oh no.
Like, and then the one girl whose parents have talked to her about it is like, look, it's not a big deal. You don't have to be afraid. And da da da. I'm like, well, how is this? I'm like, 50s video. I'm supposed to be making fun of you. Like, stop being so poignant and right.
This is not to be stop being so right.
Yeah.
I love it. It was so fun. I got to stop onto your show a couple of times now, and it's just always, it cracks me up, man.
Really? I didn't realize you were there.
Going. Yeah,
I will shout you out every time, and I'm at some point I have to like start early on a Tuesday or something so that when you guys are on later we can raid and everyone can see the majesty that is Family Feud.
Oh my lord.
Because I have a fun time with that, and for some reason never remember the answers. Like,
it's a problem. You and me both.
There might be a reason why you're not remembering the answers. I think there might be a little something happening.
I one closed eye. Like, it's potatoes.
There might be a reason. So, okay. Thank you so much for this section of the podcast. Let's jump to a fast game of Would You Rather. And
oh my lord.
We'll go from there. So yeah, I'm switching us to the different view.
We both get to answer, right?
We both answer before we start things. Now, can you see?
Good. Oh, I can see.
You can see it? Okay, so we
see clearly now.
The rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. That's a happy song, by the way. Anybody?
Right?
I'm down for it. I'm down for the happy song. Okay. Are you ready? You're going to answer. I'll answer after you. You answer first, though. And then we'll click and see what everybody else said. How do you feel about that?
All right.
Are you not
already reading this? Like, what the flip flop are we getting into?
You're gonna be okay. You see, this is your idea. Do you remember? You like sent me
Mildly
things.
my idea. I didn't know the context of the question.
You are the one who did all of this. Except for I also did set up all this stuff. So I guess I'm partly responsible as well. Okay, so this is a weird one. I don't know why it starts out this way, but I think that's the point. They're weird questions. We're going to find out, how does Makeability, the horror movie mask maker, think about the world, and what decisions do you make, right? So that's what's happening. That's what's happening. It's fun. It's fun. It's a good time.
Good time.
She's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch. How dare you? Ask me about the workout again." All right. So this says, would you rather marry an exact clone of yourself or marry your sister/brother?
I would say marry an exact clone of myself. I would be that person.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they'd be able to tolerate me because I'm really patient too. And I just feel like it wouldn't be as weird.
I guess so
My
too.
sister.
I think the main thing there is they say marry, but it's like sooner or later you're having sex with this person, right? So if it's your sister or your brother, it's a problem. If it's
a bit weird.
Yeah, it becomes weird. If it's yourself, it's not as bad because, you know, there's people already
like
do
masturbation.
Yeah, it's sort of the same. I don't know though. I feel like for dudes, it's a little bit like, okay, listen, if you're butt humping each other, even though it's you, is it still? I guess. But
That's a whole new realm, man.
It's a whole new realm. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna go with marry an exact clone of yourself. Although I'm not sure, because I don't have a sister, so it's now a theoretical sister. Thinking about a theoretical sister over myself sounds better. You know?
Yeah.
I don't have a real sister, right? Like, so it's not like, oh, I don't have a gross.
It isn't as bad.
I don't have a gross idea of it. I only have like a porno idea of it, right? Where it's like fun for everybody. So I'm thinking I'd probably go with that one, but we're going with your choice. This make up Billy's day. You're sick. We're going with what you said. Bam. Oh, you're in the majority. Most people, 75%, would go with the clone of themselves. Okay.
Oh.
So this is the next thing. Live with a complete slob or live with a complete idiot. How is this?
I would take the idiot. It's entertaining.
I knew you were going to say that for sure. I knew you were going to say that. Oh, slob or an idiot. I think you and I are the opposite there. I don't think I could deal. I'm not patient.
Really?
Like you're patient. I'm not patient at all.
You would call someone out.
Do you have any idea? Oh my god. Do you have any idea? I go to Costco on the weekend. I can't handle it. I'm like, why don't people know what they want? Like literally, why are you walking this way? Like I don't have a problem. Why is your cart there? Why are you doing this? Do you not know what you're getting at this store? It's Costco. It's the same every time.
Oh my god.
Like, I literally have a route through Costco that makes it faster. I know what each thing is.
Goodness.
I make a list that is in the order of the things I'm getting.
Of the wind. Oh my god, you're smart.
Of the horseshoe direction. And when I have to stop with my cart, I like pull the cart to the side and then dip myself and go get the thing so that I'm like more agile instead of pushing my cart in front of everything, you know? So that's me. And then
still stop for the tasters? Do they still have those?
They do still have them. I don't even look at that.
Lineups, fuck that. You're just like running with like a football.
I can't eat any of that stuff anyway. I get fat very easily, so I like have to deal. And I think, you've dealt with the digestive issues and all that stuff too, so you know what's going down. So like me and my lady can't even look at that. I'm like, keep it. I feel bad though still. When you pass those people, I'm like, you're working here. It's tough. Okay, so you want to live with a complete oh no, you want to live with an idiot, right?
I want to live with an idiot.
I'd live with a slob, it would bug me, but like I have a real thing about stupid people. So okay, let's do this.
You're
Sorry,
2 for 2
everyone's
on the
stupid.
opposite.
Look at
That's
that.
okay.
See, I don't fit in with anybody. This is why it's the ragged world, because this is literally the meaning of it. I don't fit in. I don't fit in. It just is what it is. Sorry, guys. Okay. Always speak your mind. Would you rather always speak your mind, including very harsh truths, or never speak up for yourself?
I'd go speak my mind. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think I'd do that already. And especially
Right.
the harsh truths. You might even say I'm a bit of a dick. So, but why? Why would you want to always speak your mind and never speak up? What does it for you on this one?
I've always been somebody who's spoken my mind. Like if I'm not into something, I won't do it, you know? So, but, you know, it's harsh truth, you know what I mean? There's those moments where you're like, you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Like I've been in situations where I'm like, I'm going to tiptoe around this because it's not worth it. I think that's my change of, it's like I'm still feeling the, like I don't want to deal with this person, but I'm just going to let it go, you know?
Yeah.
Not in a way that would, I guess, hurt me in a sense, you know what I mean?
That's true. I think that makes sense though. I mean, that's normal.
Yeah.
That's normal. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to there's amount of things you can put your energy towards, right?
Yeah.
And you do notice that. Like I think people who don't have very much to do have a little bit more energy capital to spend on just like arguing about any small thing, whereas
Absolutely.
in this situation it's like, look, but in this situation you'd have to tell the harsh truths every time, basically.
I'd still do it. I'd do it.
Yeah, me too. I'd be fine with it. I'd be like, you're stupid.
Verbal diarrhea. It's a good thing.
Yeah, we're good with it. You know, no, you look ugly. That's another thing from the 50s. There was adolescence. It was like I think sexual attitudes in adolescence, and they talked about puberty, and they were saying Mary. It's always Jim and Mary for some reason, even though it's not. A lot of times it's Jeff, but it's always Mary. But then it's like Jeff or John or James, but we always call him Jim because he might as well be Jim. It's Jim. And so Jim and Mary, like Mary's, her body is changing, and she thought she was going to be some kind of a beautiful starlet, but now she realizes that's not going to happen, and she's just a plain girl. I was like, savage.
My God.
It's like, you may not think it's a big deal, but for her, it can be a big thing.
That's so awful. And they put this like girl in front of the screen who's like mediocre on top of it, and then her going through her acting career in like the 50s has to be like, yeah, I was mediocre Mary.
Yeah, she was mediocre Mary. She's medium. It's like, do you need a second best friend or something for this movie? Because I'm perfect for it. I will not overshadow the actual attractive girl you're going to hire for the real parts. You know, don't think I'm going to do that. It's not going to happen.
I'll accentuate it.
I am perfect. But they also did say that she can get used to this the reality of the situation earlier, and therefore she can own it and not be bothered by it and live a better life that way, instead of striving to try to be something that she maybe can't attain. So like they do talk about stuff that is sort of good, but then they do it in such a savage way that it's just brutal. Like, she's ugly. What are you going to do? But at least she knows it, you know? And realize she's probably going to whine about it for a bit, and you don't care, but for her, it's a big thing, you know? So that's the deal. Okay, I'm with you on this one. Always speak my mind. Come on. Hey, I finally got one. We got there. Okay. Would you rather be a king or queen of an empire 2,500 years ago, or be the president or prime minister today? You go first, though. I don't want to influence
Throw me
you.
as president right now. I think that would be hilarious.
You would want to be president right now?
Take me today. Yeah.
Nice.
Be like, hi, I'm here in the White House for what? I don't even know. Like, I just woke up.
Like, so are you guys doing stuff?
Yeah. You got some
So,
things I gotta sign. I got some ideas,
like,
like
yeah,
education. Like, let's make that free already. All right, cool.
yeah. I think they got
uh,
in Sweden. They get paid to go to college, huh? So
Totes,
that's
yeah,
kind
man.
of fun. That's fun.
Yeah,
I
there
wish.
was a wicked Netflix documentary. Remember the dude? Fuck, what's his name? The guy who did Bowling for Columbine.
Yeah, it was Mike. It's
Mike. Yeah,
Mike something or other, right? It's been a while.
yeah, yeah. But that dude did one recently, and it's all about like
Michael Moore.
what Americans. Sorry,
Michael Moore, is it?
that yes, Michael
Hmm.
Moore. But it's one about what North Americans slash Americans should steal from different countries. I mean, what he does is he travels to all these different places, and he's like, I'm trying to take the best aspects of the world in all these different places to bring it back as an idea to do here. And again, free education slash education where you could, they pay you.
Hmm.
Um, so many things, like just the amount of vacation time that I think they get in Germany or something,
There's a lot.
but they're just all around happier people, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, I just stopped talking.
Everybody knows the Germans are the most happy. So, like, when you think happiness, you think German.
I mean, yeah, I know this one guy Daniel. He's the happiest dude I know.
I don't know. I actually don't know a lot of German. I do find the German
Oh
humor
man,
kind of savage. It's sort of like more
yeah,
flat a little bit.
yeah,
It's just
and
like a
like the voice of it, like the pronunciation,
yeah, for sure. A bad thing
it's
happened to you.
aggressive.
You hurt yourself. That is hilarious. You are a failure in life. So funny. So yeah, Germany is pretty happy, I guess. Okay, be the
Uh,
president. I would too, because I wouldn't want to be the king or the queen of an empire. This
now,
like
if they didn't shower,
I could cut
they
myself
like,
and die, basically, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
essentially it. They didn't
yeah,
shower or anything. Everybody's full bush. Um,
yeah,
although you know what, full bush, I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
yeah,
You
there
want
you
to be
go.
full bush? Be full bush. Um, so I'm okay with that. But that doesn't negate the other things. So I'd like to be the
No,
president or prime minister today. I could learn about what all the corruption is and stuff, and
yeah,
you
you
know,
write a solid book after.
yeah, do a bunch of speaking tours, step down because of the corruption I would do. And they just be like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I got away with that. Oh, I should have not stole those billions of dollars. That was terrible of me to do that." Anyway, my bad. I guess I gotta go. I'll step down.
yeah,
And like nothing happens to you at all. It's just fine. So the rest of my life is awesome. And
there you
like
go.
buying islands and hanging out in Okinawa in Japan. All right. So I'm doing it. And 55, just barely though.
Ooh,
A lot of people
that's
think, yeah, yeah.
that's strange, eh?
A lot of people don't realize the negatives of the old days. They think they're going to be a knight on a like,
Yeah,
well, they are going to be the king or queen there, but they didn't realize that like all of your kids are probably going to die because kids didn't live that easily. They die in childbirth, or you'd have to have four different spouses or something because like half of them would die. If you get sick,
yeah.
that's that. There's no medicine. Good luck. They think they're going to be jousting and it's going to be heroes and knights and maidens and stuff. Okay. Would you rather have your skin change colors based on your emotions forever, or
Ooh,
wake up every morning with a randomly different face for a year? This is a good question for you because of the face thing, because you make
that's
masks that are
terrifying.
faces. So, what do you think you
That's
would do?
that's so scary. That would be a great concept for a film. That's like not The Parent Trap. What was the other one that came out where they
Face
switched
off?
that face off? It's so good. One of the best movies ever. Um, wake up every morning with randomly with a different face for a year. That would you'd be spooking whoever you're with constantly and yourself. Ah! How do
Yeah.
you get into bars with like your ID?
I guess you have trouble with that. You have to explain it every time. No, I have. No one would believe you either. They're like, what are you, 15?
No.
I'm like, no, my face. Especially, what if your face was super young one day? Then you're done. You're done with the bars and stuff for that day.
That's
and
true.
nobody recognizes you. You just show up at the office or whatever. If you have a regular job or something, you're like,
You're a
you and I wouldn't
shapeshifter. I'm
know that because
yeah.
we don't have regular jobs, but we can imagine. Uh,
I feel like I'm not enough of a sociopath to enjoy the change your face every day for a year.
yeah, it'd be
Because I
nuts.
feel like if you're gonna own that and have fun with it, like you got to be like, all right, like every day's a new adventure, and you're messing with people's heads constantly.
Yeah,
Um, and I kind of think that's cool. It's like being a mood ring, but it's your whole body,
that is crazy. And that was speaking of
and then you can't
90s
hide it.
stuff. The mood ring thing
Yeah.
came back in the 90s, didn't it? You know, like it
Oh
was a
hell yeah,
70s thing, 80s thing, but it got like big in the 90s with bucket hats
yeah,
and overalls and stuff. No, but you're right. It's too crazy. The different face every day. You could get away with a lot of
yeah.
weird stuff, but I think, that would help you get away with the facial recognition stuff that we have now, right? So if you were like in
Oh,
China or something doing espionage, you could probably change your face and they'd be like, we can't find him. But do you cycle back at
true.
some point? Do you cycle back
It's
to your
a
own face?
different face for a year, so it's different all the time.
I think this is going to be
I'm
the
taking it
most
literally.
popular one. Yeah. It says wake up every day. Oh, only for a year though. It happens for 1 year.
1 year.
This is forever. Your skin color changes
Oh,
based on your emotions forever. So like if somebody's like, "Hey, are you angry at me?" and you're like, "No," but your skin is like full fire engine red,
yeah, that's
like
true.
everybody knows your real thoughts, but then we
So
don't mind saying
1 year.
it's
Yeah,
only a
that's a good
year.
point. That's a good point. 1 year would be a wild year. You film the whole thing, have a great time, scaring people with it,
Yeah.
and try not to go to jail. I
I'm
guess.
gonna I'm gonna choose it for 1 year because like
Yeah,
I'm kind of reclusive anyway, and I don't think a lot
yeah.
like the person that I'm with will know that it's happening, so they're gonna be scared sometimes, but still
You could
try
just
not to
wear a
get shot.
mask. Be like, this is my face now.
What a depressing
Oh,
year where you wore
oh
a
my
paper
lord.
bag over your head. Okay, I'm with you. I'm doing it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with this
let's do
too.
it.
I agree. I told you people would want this though. 58%. They don't
Yeah,
consider the year. I think they forget that part. The fact that you got
we
your
just don't read properly. It's our poor, poor.
indeed. Okay, we're closing we're closing into the end. We're closing into the end. We'll just do a couple more of these, and then like I know you're busy and you got to get out of here, but like I'm having fun. I don't know. You having fun or is this boring as hell?
Of course, I'm having
Okay,
fun.
okay.
Sorry if my face doesn't look like it. I'm totes having fun.
No, no, no. I'm
You're
asking.
making me think hard. These are like
Let's do it.
trivial.
Okay, okay. Let's see what happens. Would you rather randomly time travel ahead or back 20 years every time you pass gas?
So sorry.
Or, and this works for you today, teleport to a different place on Earth every time you sneeze, and it'll be land, not water. You're not going to be in the middle of the ocean or something. So,
Oh my lord.
different country, you're just suddenly there every time you sneeze. Or, you got to go back or forward 20 years in time every time you fart.
I fart so much. I don't sneeze that often. And I've always wanted to teleport. Like, it doesn't say that, like, oh, it says a different place on Earth.
Yeah, you don't have control over it, is what it looks like. It looks to me like you would be stuck. Yeah, it looks like you'd be stuck.
Oh my god.
So you could just suddenly be in
I would
North
do it.
Korea in a
I
death
would do
camp.
it. I do it.
Teleport with the sneezing?
Hell yeah.
And the fart
Yeah.
one, you don't
Yeah,
want to
I
go
would do
back
it.
and forth in time?
No, dude, it would be nonstop, and I'd just be like Jeopard. I would butterfly effect everything. It'd be so bad. And like, I'm such a person who's like, I've done the past. I've moved on. Let's keep going. You know?
You're right. I know you're right. But the thing is like, if I would go back 20 years and like I could
Oh.
just hold my like butthole closed tight, then just like open an account, place all the bets, grab,
Oh,
get,
smart.
put money in all the companies. 20 years ago, You could put money in like Google and Amazon and whatever and Apple and all that. And just like
And then
today and Bitcoin or something like, well, oh no, there wasn't Bitcoin at the time. It was Bitgold. That disappeared.
gold.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so but you could do all that. And then just like know the dates to sell because you've had that, and then go back in time, go forward in time and be like, oh, I have $20 billion. That's cool. But then that's once that would really be good, right? Because then you have the money, then you keep going back every time, or maybe forward, but then you get to see what happens in the future, and it's like, oh damn, I'm in prison. Maybe I should try to not do whatever happened. I feel like it could be fun.
It sounds perpetual. It sounds like it's going back and forth and like purgatory shit.
But the farting does. You're right about this though. The farting does happen more times. We don't sneeze that often. You'd be like, how many times a week do you sneeze? Tell us about your body function.
Right? Tell us. Like, honestly, recently, barely. And then all of a sudden I got this. It's like not even like a sneeze a day, I'd say. Okay. And I'm not somebody who sneezes in 3s or 5s.
Oh, really? I always do 2.
You think about that, and it's like, whoa. You do 2? Yeah.
Usually 2. Like 1 doesn't get the job done. I don't know. You see the nose I got going? No, it doesn't get the job done. I got to do the second one. But not usually 3.
I feel like it'd just be fun to end up in like random places in the world. And then like, you're always explaining like, Lucy, you got some splain, and you're like, ha ha, I sneezed again. Here's a souvenir.
Just like in the middle of like a cocaine field and like, oh shit, people shoot you. Like, oh, get down. This is fun. Again. I'm with you. We're going with your choices, so we're definitely doing it. Let's see what happens. Bam. Teleport to a different place. Yep. People chose that too. It is the smarter choice because the other one is crazy.
No, but you had a great point, because you would be able to get yourself rich as a motherfucker. Yeah. And if you make yourself eat beans, maybe you can control it to some extent and somehow get your butthole healed. For
sure. And like, what if there's like a like anti-aging serum that happens 20 years from now or something that puts you like, but you can have it and then take it back in the past. So now you're like 20 years old, but you're mentally older and you're a billionaire, and you don't have to wait the 20 years in order for it to happen. And when it does happen, you're already like halfway there. I don't know. I think about that, but you're right. It would make no sense. Every single day it would happen a couple times at least, So you're in trouble. So the sneezing, it's like in a few weeks, I think you don't even sneeze really once. That can happen like it was once or twice a month. Like, it's not like we're all like sniffing pepper or something. Yeah. So you're right. You were right about that one. Okay. Would you rather be able to read anyone's mind or know the exact time you will die?
Ooh. Oh, man.
It's tougher than it seems, although I lean towards being able to read anyone's mind. But I should have waited for you to think about it. What do you think?
You're going for read anyone's mind? I'm going to go for the other one. I'd rather know when my expiry date is.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I like that, I like not knowing what people are thinking. I find that kind of like the beauty about the world. There's some things that will never just be explained or whatever.
It's true. A lot of times you don't want to really know what everyone is thinking, for sure. Like, I mean, all those people.
Mel Gibson, What Women Want. Awful analogy, but
it's funny because I don't think it is. Like, I've seen that movie more than one time.
Yeah,
I don't think it is what women want at all. Like, I really don't think they caught it. No. I didn't see any hair pulling. I didn't see any choking. Anyway. No. I didn't see any light bondage or weird rapey stuff. No, like I didn't. I don't know. I don't know why you guys like that, but you do. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, they didn't have any of that. He was sensitive, I think. So that's what women wanted. Yeah. They didn't want no. Yeah, he was a sensitive guy. He listened and all that stuff. Knew about fashion and whatever. I'm sure that's what women like the best. So I disagree. I don't think
in the 90s. That was a 90s thing.
Was it a 90s movie?
I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Cool.
I feel like it.
But yeah. All right. All right. And
So you're going to read mine? Yeah?
I'm thinking of reading minds because
Okay.
just again, because I'm a person who's like semi-ruthless. So like I want to, if I can have a power, like knowing the exact time I will die does free you up to take risks in other areas.
Oh,
Knowing
yeah.
like I'm not gonna die if I do this thing. So that's
Yeah.
pretty good. It does free you up to go like, oh, I only have this much time. I better get to it. I think you'd live a way better life. Unless it's like, oh, it's 3 hours. And then you're like, oh man. Then the reading minds wouldn't have mattered either. But I do think but I think there's an argument for reading anyone's mind. Because get yourself in the room with like anyone who's making decisions or choices or whatever. Like I feel like you'd be the most influential person so easily. So if you were looking for any kind of
Ooh, Charles Manson style.
success or power or whatever, you'd be like, oh yeah, I could really go for this. Like you'd never be out of the loop on stuff, and that might be easier. Maybe I think that because I'm fairly anxious around people, so I feel like it would be easier maybe, but that might make it worse. So I'm going with you. Know the exact time you will die.
It would make us great salespeople, though, to be able to read minds.
86%
wow, we would less.
wanted to.
That's crazy.
I think that's true. I see that because it's a power. And the other thing is kind of like, oh, now I know when I'll die. And I don't think people can conceptualize that as easily.
Yeah, people are scared of death, still? It's like a thing.
Yeah. But it's like, it's funny because I've been dealing with some of that stuff. Some of the people around me have passed away, and there have been some negative effects of that, of course. But at the same time, there were some positive lessons to be learned. I'm going to say that, there were some positive lessons to be learned, and you can realize a lot of things like, oh yeah, no, I really didn't expect that person to just be gone, but they are. So now I can apply that to myself. So I don't know. I have to think that. So you're okay though. Like, you feel like you've made some peace with the death situation, or is that, how do you think about death?
I mean, I went through a huge phase when I lived in Vancouver. It was like being alone for the first time on my own, like first time moving out, and like, not having that much money, going to school, and like kind of that moment where your world just feels like it's all like coming down like this. And I started reading up a lot about like the universe and shit like that. And I was like, we are so all insignificant. Like we're just little peas, little peas of existence. And it's like shut up and don't worry and just be in the moment. Like that was like a big thing for me. I was like, I don't know why we get so nervous about it. And then it's like, oh, well, when you look at it a certain way and you're just like, yo, this happens to everybody. It's inevitable. And just fucking enjoy the time, Enjoy your freaking every day. Have fun all the time.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm sorry I'm forcing you through this on your sickness day. But we are insignificant, so deal. And okay. We're closing into pretty much the last ones, I think, because I know you're busy. You have to send out some of these masks today, I think, right? Is that the deal?
Oh yeah, it's so funny. I almost feel like turning this, just I don't want to fuck everything up.
Yeah.
But it's only
like
4 boxes, but that's how short I am. It's almost my height.
Whoa.
It's pretty funny. It's that moment where you're like, oop. I'm like, maybe that's my goal. So October I have over my head.
Nice. Well, hey, October is definitely your season, especially for what you're doing. So like, I hope it kills. I do. All right.
Stoked. Sometimes it's the opposite, but you know what? I get it. We're all like last minute with our freaking stuff, and I'm like, whatever. It's Halloween. We just gotta enjoy spooky season, guys.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I think anybody who's doing something kind of on their own, and like you're essentially just doing all this, right? Like I'm sure your boyfriend or whatever might help with some things sometimes or whatever, but he's got his own stuff, I'm sure. When you're doing a thing on your own, it can be crazy. Like it just like we talked earlier, you're like, hey, are we doing this live or are we doing this recorded? And I'm like, I usually record the podcast, but then I'm like, oh, if I want to do this live, I do have to set everything up for that and decide, oh, is this the platform? Is that the platform? You know, like, should we do this on Twitch if we're doing it live? Should we do this on YouTube? Because I haven't done anything on live. And if I do it on YouTube, then I got to set everything up. And it's just like, yeah, if somebody's going to buy a mask, you not only had to make the mask, you had to pack the mask and ship the mask and deal with any problem that happens during that time and deal with the finances and deal with the taxes and all that stuff. That's all you. So yeah, sometimes it's going to be last minute, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's going to be last minute. And like, it's hard for maybe some people to understand, but yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And you're sick, but you're doing it, you know? So
hell yeah.
That's awesome. Which leads us into, would you rather be able to have any pet you want or be able to have any electronic device that you want?
I love animals. I'm going to go pet.
Can
I have a pet Reagan? Like a pet skunk? Could it be anything?
My heart leads towards pet.
Yeah.
My heart leads towards pet. And my head leads toward electronic device. Because I could use a pretty dope computer, I think.
Right?
Like, I'd be down. Or like just a sick like any electronic device you want. I think I would probably go with, again, my head goes with that. My
Which
mind
is fine. Yeah, I think that's a good one because if you think about it, half the time pets just come into your life by accident.
Yeah.
Think about how many times there's like stray cats outside. It's like, oh, stop,
for
cat.
sure. You wanted a cat or a dog. It's really like, because I don't really want a tiger or anything, and you know, that much. Like, and then electronic device, it could be like, oh, I'd like a particle accelerator and I'll sell that for the 10 million, or I'd like to have a brand new MRI machine. They're worth like $9 million, right? So I was like, I'll sell that for 5. It's the hospital gets it for a 50% discount and I live the rest of my life having whatever pet I wanted after. Like,
there you go.
I'm going with electronic device, but are we going with pet because we're going with our hearts?
I'm going to go with my heart because I love pets.
Yeah, animals are more important than electronics. We're going to go pets. I bet you this is the popular one. But for the record, I would have chose the other thing because it's smarter.
I don't know.
Oh,
no.
61%.
No,
they had it. Some thinkers out there.
Oh.
Okay, I know you're almost... Okay, let's be very sensitive to... Okay, you know what? We've done a few of these. This is horror, and it is Halloween, and this is coming out of Halloween times. I want us to do a quick fire. It's not going to be long, and I'm not going to do it. This is about you, and we are going, because you are the expert. I am not a horror movie expert. So there's 9 questions. We're going fast, okay?
Oh, my Lord.
Horror movie edition. Now, would you rather get lost in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or the Blair Witch Project house?
Oh, fuck that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre for sure.
What? Okay.
Yeah, fuck that forest. It's a spooky place. Spooky house.
Okay. Would you rather wake up in the reverse bear trap or the needle pit from the Saw movies?
Reverse bear trap.
Reverse bear trap. Okay.
I have a huge phobia of needles. Huge.
All right. Less people wanted that, and again, twice you've picked the minority on that. So more people wanted to be in Blair Witch House. Okay, would you rather make out with Pennywise or Michael Myers?
Michael Myers, duh. I'd be all over that.
I think he would kill you easier, to be honest. Like, the other guy's just a clown, so it's like whatever. But anyway, okay. Would you rather
makeup everywhere? It's like,
oh, it's true. Yeah. No, forget that. Would you rather spend a week alone in one room with Annabelle or the Nun painting from the Conjuring films?
I would take Annabelle over the Nun painting because the Nun painting scared me a lot.
Yeah, they're pretty scary. Yeah, you're in there. You're with everybody on that one. Would you rather be possessed temporarily by the demon in The Exorcist or the one in Hereditary?
Ooh, Exorcist. Pazuzu, baby. Yeah, Pazuzu.
It was more of a sexy demon. Most people wanted Hereditary. Wow.
Is it because they're scared of the other one? I don't know.
Think so. Exorcist was pretty scary. I actually went and saw that when it was re-released in theaters somewhere. I went and saw that, and I was like, and they had like the new scenes of a couple of new scenes in there, and it's scary in the theater. Exorcist,
Yo, are you talking about The Exorcist or Hereditary?
Exorcist.
Ooh.
They re-released it, and they put like a few scenes that were cut out, like an edited version. So there was
Yeah.
like 15 more minutes or something of like scary stuff,
Yeah.
and the sounds in the theater get you. That was a
I
thing
would assume so. I've never seen it on a big screen. That would be like,
because you're not
yeah.
terrified just watching it on a small screen. You know,
Ah, it's pretty scary.
it is, but I don't really get scared that much from watching movies. And
Yeah.
I'll say a small screen, I'm like, ah, okay. But then I saw it in the theater, the music and the sound effects. I got home and I was like looking around, like when you hear something or something, like I was like opening the fridge, stop opening the fridge,
You
pause.
go upstairs, all your cupboards are open. It's like, well, then I'm gonna go to
Yeah. I'm like,
bed.
oh, just a regular day. So would you rather try to fight off Freddy Krueger or Leatherface?
uh, fight off. I'm gonna say Freddy.
Really? He's like a,
Yeah, he gets you in your dreams. I have fairly lucid dreams. I think it'd be a good time.
I don't know. The other guy's just a guy, though. Couldn't you just like shoot that guy? And this guy's in your dreams.
Um,
Anyway, whatever. I'm not going to convince you.
I think
Most
it's
people wanted to
fine.
fight Leatherface, probably for the reason that he's just a guy and not like an immortal ghost. Terrible choice. No, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. Would you, except for a little bit, a small amount.
Just a little bit.
Would you rather spend your summer at Camp Crystal Lake from Friday the 13th or the cabin from Evil Dead?
Ooh, Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah, it's more fun,
Yeah,
right? It's like
yeah, more fun. You don't have to share it with a bunch of dumb kids.
you do end up cutting off your own hand, but whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So, would you rather be haunted by the girl from The Ring or the demon from Paranormal Activity for 1 year?
I'm gonna take Paranormal Activity because that
Yeah,
Ring girl, terrifying. The Ringu, like the OG Ring,
Ring.
I tell
Yeah.
everybody, so much scarier.
Kawaii desu yo. Let's do that. Okay. So, would you rather spend a night alone at the Bates Motel or the Overlook Hotel?
Oh, I'd say Overlook.
Overlook. Yeah.
That's my dream. I want to go there. It's in
I feel like
where is it?
I think you're right. That's the right choice. One's a crappy motel, one's an awesome hotel, and one has a murderer who actually kills you, and the other one's more of a psychological thing, really. Nobody
Yeah,
really died that badly, except for the janitor, the caretaker guy, and Jack Nicholson, right?
absolutely right.
The
Yeah,
main characters were okay. Where in this one, the main characters are slaughtered like, pretty bad. Okay, you know what? I think you did okay.
yeah, we
Like,
didn't do so bad.
I think we did okay, but let's see. We'll go back and take a quick look of how and wrap this thing up before now. So, would you rather get lost? Now, you said you'd rather get lost in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house
Yeah,
than the
like
Blair Witch
39%.
house.
Yeah, yeah, because
Okay,
that Blair Witch house is terrifying.
is it?
Oh man, and have you played? They made a video game for PC recently, and it was done so well. It
Okay,
was actually really spooky,
but
and
aren't
like
these
you're stuck. Like,
people gonna kill
yeah,
you?
it's a good time. They're family.
Can't beat them. Join. They're a family. You have a nice dinner. Okay. You said reverse bear trap, but most people said needle pit.
Absolutely not. I
Why
could
would you bear
not
trap?
because I'm terrified of needles. I could not
Really?
shove something on my face. I could not be in a barrel of needles.
Wow. Okay. I got
Yeah.
you. Sorry to, okay. Well, we don't want to traumatize you. And then you were down for Michael Myers, but most people liked Pennywise. So what's the story there?
I would assume because that's the who played that Michael Skarsgård or whatever, what's his name?
Hmm.
The guy who played him. He's like a heartthrob at this point, no?
So you're thinking like the actor then?
Yeah, they're probably looking at it for the actor. But Michael Myers
Uh,
is way hotter. Let's be real.
yeah. I
Yeah,
just feel like
he's
he'd kill you more likely.
But he's
The
a
other.
strong silent type, and it's like something sexy about that.
I guess you're looking to get penetrated. It's gonna be Michael Myers.
It's gonna be me. You fucking
Ma, ma, ma. Okay, so
I'm sorry.
and okay, and you said Annabelle, not the painting, and everybody else thought the same. So you were
Yeah.
with the majority on that one. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
and then you said Hereditary, not The Exorcist. Okay. Oh no,
Did I
wait.
say that?
You said Exorcist, and everyone else said
Yeah.
Hereditary.
Yeah. Let me be possessed by the Exorcist one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why though? It seemed like a pretty rough demon.
Yeah, he's a rough dude, but I feel like it'd be an experience. If something could make me run downstairs like that, like on my back, like I'd be
You're
like,
right.
bring it.
And it's to twisting head if someone could make you crab walk down the steps.
Yeah.
And then like we already talked about this one. But Freddy can I'm against you on
You're
this
right.
one.
I should take it back. It should probably be Leatherface because
Like he's just a
Freddy
dude.
would just never wake up. Like he's always there.
Yeah, he doesn't die, really. So how are you gonna fight him off? Like I don't even know what your strategy would be. Leatherface, I'm like, okay, shoot him with a shotgun, I guess. And since he's a guy, he'd be
Yeah.
dead. He's scary.
That's
I mean, like whatever. Bullets exist. Where like Freddy would like zip around them, turn into a lawnmower or whatever. So you know,
So true. Lawnmower over your face. And,
it's troublesome.
yeah, you know what? I should change that. We should have killed Texas Chainsaw Man.
Okay. I convinced you.
Yeah.
I'm glad. It's so important.
Yeah, you convinced me.
It's
Well, I
important.
don't want him being on my mind all the time.
Yeah. You're gonna worry about going to sleep. You can never sleep. It's craziness. The other guy's a guy. She gets in a truck and drives away. That's how you get away. Like, fight him off.
Just go.
You can run him over with your Buick, like it's like whatever. There. Back over him a couple times.
Yeah.
Spin the wheels. Like, and see you later. Okay. So, but you chose the Evil Dead cabin and most people did not.
No, I think there's a lot of big Friday fans. I'm a big Friday fan too, but I just think about all the campers. I feel like the Evil Dead cabin's kind of more fun and spooky.
You just don't want to be around the campers.
I guess so.
You're antisocial. I'm with you. I don't want to be around those idiots. I hate them. I'm glad
they're gonna sing songs. Like I don't want to be there for their fucking sing songs.
You know what? I'm glad they're dead too, Vicky. I'm glad they're dead too.
You said it, not me.
So, and yeah, I think you're 100% right on this, and everybody else kind of went with it too. This isn't really that scary paranormal activity, to be fair. Like that demon isn't really anything.
I don't really remember ever seeing it. I think I saw clips from this film, and I don't remember seeing what the demon would even look like.
Yeah.
So clearly, it didn't scare me. You know.
Yeah. It's practical effects, kind of like in really low budget. So it's like, oh, the blanket's moved, the door is open.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. This person is an evil girl who comes out of the TV, kills you.
Yeah, like
So
probably smells like butthole because she hides out in a well.
You're right.
You know.
I didn't factor in the smell. I didn't factor it in. Then, and the last one was, would you rather spend a night alone at the Bates Motel Overlook? Overlook wins, and it's obvious because it's like an awesome hotel. There's those creepy girls. Lots of murders happened. Bates Motel murders are currently happening. So less fun.
Still happening.
Yeah, still going strong since 1964 or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's what happening there.
Good times. I feel like the other one was almost tougher. There's a lot of tough ones on the first would you rather question.
I think that you're an expert at like you walk through those like no problem. These ones, that's why I wanted to do these too, because that's a whole thing, right? Like the other one is just like, okay, would you rather do this or this, and it's like movie or movie, and you don't have to think about it much. where
This
this
is
is
like philosophical and shit.
Yeah.
Is that the word? Like,
And-
I chucked that up there.
And I like the dual color thing, and the whole scheme looks nice. Be very sensitive to everything people say, or never be able to hear the opinions of others.
Oh, both suck.
Yeah, that's rough. Those are rough.
Yeah, both. Never be able to hear the opinions of others is like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
You need opinions to be able to grow, but be super sensitive. Maybe you just explain to people you're really sensitive, and it's okay. I'll pick sensitive.
I'll go with that. I take the sensitive too, for sure. I'm already very sensitive to things people say, so I feel like it's like not a big thing. This is like I can't take any kind of. I'm not gonna learn anything ever. Well, that's your opinion.
Not allowed.
I'm like, no, but E equals MC squared. No, it's your opinion. I'm like, well, okay. I think it's a great mathematical form. Like, dude, you're about to drive off a cliff. Your opinion. Like, you'd probably be dead. So yeah, we're going with it. Everybody, 50-50. Wow. The last one is. I'm trying to let you go because I know you're busy.
This is hilarious. This is
die in front. This is a good ending one though. Well,
this is so emo.
Would you rather die in front of your friends or let your friends die in front of you?
Oh my god. I'd rather die in front of my friends because I would have too much guilt with everybody dying in front of me and not doing anything.
It would be rough. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's been nice knowing you, Vicky. Because I'm going to choose let your friend... No.
Oh my god. I mean, I'm trying to think of in what circumstance is it okay?
Nah, it's got to be die in front of your friends, I guess. It's rough for them. They're going to feel pain, but you're not going to... You could look at it that way. You could say you're causing them the lifetime trauma and you're out of it, you know?
That's true.
Whereas you're the one who now has to live with it and they don't have to anymore, but they don't get to continue living and you do continue living. But is your life going to be worse? Because... You know, it says let your friends die in front of you.
That's the weird part, right? That let word.
Yeah, you let it happen. You could have done something, but you didn't. You're like,
Like, I might just die in front of my friends because I'm an idiot and I got hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Oops.
There you go.
You know, like, not my fault. You guys just got to watch the squish.
At the same time, letting your friends die is kind of funny. Like, quick, grab my hand. You're like, oh, I can't reach. You're kind of like holding the elevator door, but you're really pressing the closed door.
Strong hand.
Like, oh, but I kind of hurt my wrist the other day. But I have this ice cream cone.
I can't put this down.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Drop it on the ground? It's gonna get dirt in it.
Like, let your friends die in front of you. Think about it if you were on the Titanic.
That's true. Then I would let them die for sure, because it's amazing. They drown. They fall off the boat and everything. Bong! Hit the thing on the railing on the way down.
There's only so many boats. Say you get in one of the boats, they can't get in the boat. What do you do? It's gotta happen.
Look, it's like, look, guys, you got on this boat too, so you're gonna drown. Like, it's got to be. It's your fault for getting on the boat. I'm already in the dinghy. I'm not gonna get out to let you guys get in. And I need to lay across the thing. I need to lay across the bench. I really need my sleep. And this has been a traumatic thing. I have to lay down with my eyes closed. I could get a headache. You guys have to die. So, okay. I think we're good. I think die in front of your friends is what we'd actually choose. I think both of us would actually choose this. So we'll choose it.
Oh my god.
And most people chose it too, but 31% of people.
Nice, 69.
69. Hey-o. 69 to die. All right. Look, this has been really fun. I'm sorry I put you through all this and that we've burned so much time. especially on a
it's been
day
so fun.
where you're busy. But I hope you had a very good time. And
Hell yeah.
oh wait. I have to change things because you're
Oh,
probably
it's so
seeing
screen.
yourself
I,
8 trillion times. There we go.
oh, it felt like when you look into a mirror and you look into another mirror, and the mirrors just make this like whoa infinity.
That's exactly what happened. It's legitimately that. So that's
Sorry.
that's the story we have for you. Look, Vicky, I'm so happy that you played this stupid game with me and that you
Oh,
suggested
so
it
fun.
because I had
Yeah.
fun. And I thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. I hope you have a good day. And like, do you have any last words
Oh
for
man,
the
I
people out
just
there?
want to say thank you. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for tuning in. You guys should always tune in. It's good times, good vibes. And yeah,
All right.
stay
All right.
spooky. It's that time.
Stay spooky. Like happy Halloween, everybody. That is probably
Yeah.
about when I'm gonna put this thing out too. It's probably around a Halloween time. So that would
There you
make a lot of
go.
sense. Season
Hell
2
yeah.
beginning on Halloween. Nobody's schedule. That's my schedule. Because things happen at the last minute sometimes. So look,
I feel that.
everybody follow Vicky, aka Makeup Billy, absolutely everywhere that you can follow because she's a lot of fun. I really do suggest either be on Reddit or Twitch on Tuesday nights sometimes. Also check out Movie Mondays. You do movie reviews. Check that out on YouTube. She's streaming all the time on Reddit as well, just doing, you can actually see the process of the masks being made. And go to her site, Makeup Billy, in order to purchase some of these masks before Halloween gets you, before you get stuck, because you'll actually look a lot cooler if you do. Hey, 1 second, I am going to grab this because I think you should see it, just in case people don't realize what's happening. Check this out. Do you want to look
Oh,
like this? This
oh, it
is
looks
the
so
bloody.
good on your camera too. Stop
Oh yeah,
it.
man, it's good. It's serious. It's serious.
Oh,
Like imagine
oh.
looking this way on Halloween.
This
Imagine
could be
looking this
you.
way. Here, I'm gonna try to change the camera. Bam. You see that? This could be you. Welcome to the Thunderdome. I think like you have to have a more of a, yeah, there we go.
There you
You can't
go.
see my eyes that way.
Dangle.
Some of these
That's
angles.
awesome. I literally just finished making another one of these guys. I haven't posted any pictures of it yet. I'm in crunch mode, man. I gotta take so many goddamn pictures.
I was jealous for sure. I was absolutely jealous too
Oh,
for like
yeah.
the latest versions of Bloody Marys and the latest versions. That's the other thing. You're always updating. There is new stuff. I'd say like keep up with Makeup Billy, keep up with Vicky, and get some of this stuff. You want to look good on Halloween? That's the place. Like you know where to go. You know what to do. Professional styles. You are a trained person in special effects makeup, so like this is not a joke. Like you can go watch the whole process. So like I say, go to her channels, go to her Instagram, go to her TikTok, go to her Twitch, go to the Reddit, see for yourself. Because I'm like look, I ask her a bunch of stupid questions about the 90s. You want to see how this stuff really happens, go to her stuff and see it. That's what it is. We hang out, we like to talk and have fun, but so that's the story. So look, Vicky, thank you so much for being here, taking the time while you were sick. I appreciate it.
Aw, I appreciate you so much. And it was so fun to be back. And it's just so fun to shoot the shit with good people. I think that's what it's all about.
Well, on that, I think you're right. So let's end this thing. So again, thank you for coming to the Ragged World. Thank you for being a ragged one. I appreciate it so
Thank
much.
you.
And so bye everybody. That's the end of this thing.